Hi everybody, I'm Susan, and what I'm doing today is prepping to make nukes. So I have queen cells that are ready. Well, they're ready in about 5 days. So I have 2 days before the cells can actually be moved when they're hardened off, and they can be moved without compromising the cell. And so I do a prep on nuke making, which makes it easier to make nukes faster, and I don't take the queen by accident. Whether you're making 5 or 20 nukes, this is a great way to get the frames you need and be sure you don't grab a queen in the meantime. So grab your equipment, let's go. I'm getting ready to make about 40 nukes, and they're 2 frame, 4 ways, and it doesn't really even matter what kind of nukes you're going to make. If you go into the hive that you're going to make a nuke from, you have to get a frame of brood and a frame of nectar at the very least, or a frame of brood, cap brood, and nectar, or any variation thereof, as long as there's brood and you want to get your nurse bees. A lot of times you can end up grabbing the queen, regardless of how well you are looking at your frames. Especially when you're making a lot, you can end up grabbing the queen, and then you don't know where she came from, or she kills your cell. So in order to not have that happen, I'm going to go in. It's not being nice. I'm going to go in, pull all the frames that I want, shake the bees down into the hive. I'm going to put an excluder on top, then put those frames that are going to go into nukes on top again and let them repopulate. It'll take about 24 hours, but you can do 24 hours or more. Not that long, but 24 hours. Let them repopulate. When you come back to make your nukes, now you're just pulling frames and making nukes. It's a very efficient method. So I watch commercial beekeepers, and by size-wise, I'm not a commercial beekeeper. I'm still I don't even think I'm considered a sideliner. But I watch commercial beekeepers for their methods that make it very efficient in their apiaries. I don't take everything from a commercial beekeeper because I'm not a commercial beekeeper, but if they can make something an efficient method and streamline it, I'm all for it, and I try to put it into my practice and see what happens. So this is something that we're going to do today. So we reversed these about 10 days ago, so they were due for an inspection anyway. Everybody was reversed, the empties were put up top, and so now I'm going to look for frames that I want to put in a nuke, and I'll build out a 10 frame with those frames. going to shake all of these back in here before I put it all back together. And when I put it back, they're going to be fed to ensure that everybody has a full belly when I take them. That one. Perfect. No, that was all mostly drone. Now I'm consolidating the hive back together, keeping the brood together. I don't want to separate the brood too much, although I am adding a few empty frames. And what I'm looking at as they give them to me is that they're all worker comb. Because I'm foundationless, sometimes they can build worker or drone or too much drone. This is all drone, but in case I do any queen rearing up here or someone goes queenless, I definitely want them to rear their own drones because I want my genetics wherever I am. You don't have to give them another empty back on. But this is one of my out yards that I'm not in except every 10 days. So I want to make sure she has a place to run up into because she had run up into that one. Now I'm ready to shake all those bees off those frames, put it back, and put on my excluder. I'm not going to put on the excluder because in case I grab the queen, I want her to go down. So this is one of my tricks that I found from one of the commercial guys. I think Ian Stepler from Canada. And obviously he does a ton of these. I'm not that big, but one of the things when you're shaking bees is that they tend to go to the ground. You don't want to step on them, so why not use a funnel? I don't like shaking the queen if at all possible, so I do give a look on the frame to see if she's there. So basically I put them in the 10 frame in the order that I would like to take them out. So these two would be in a nuke, 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 nuke. Now, if I come across a hive as I'm working that has a ton of honey and I need the honey, I'll probably make notes and do accordingly. Because nothing's written in granite. And here's inside the funnel. A lot of those bees would have probably gone to the ground, which always kind of sucks. That, you know, you have to step over them, whatever. And now comes the excluder. So now you can see on top what I just shook. She's got plenty of bees to repopulate. And now the queen can't get back up there. So repopulate this. Again, a cursory glance. I got green pollen. And now I'm going to feed them. So here she is. There's already bees back up on there. So my frames that I brought up are not just capped brood. There is open larva that should attract nurse bees back up. The feed up here should also help attract bees up. And in 24 hours, there should be enough bees up here to make some nucs. And just because I have 10 frames up here doesn't mean it's going to be the 10 frames I use. I'm going to do the rest of my yard. That's my help. And if I make 40 nucs, that will be enough to do the queens that I have ready. And then next week we'll do more. But this is one of the hacks that you can actually not grab a queen and still keep your production hive intact.